anime are known for characters unlocking cool forms that allow them to become much more powerful. It doesn't matter if we're talking about Naruto's Sage Mode, Luffy's various gear forms, or Ichigo's merged Hollow form. All are awesome. No anime is as well known for characters getting cool transformations as Dragon Ball is. Characters like Goku and Vegeta have cycled through various Super Saiyan forms over the years. They've also come up against a class of Super Saiyan that far outmatches them. Heck, there are even a few legendary forms a few Saiyans have managed to achieve that aren't even genetically specific to them, not to mention a few that sadly aren't canon anymore. Still, fans will always be desperate to rank these forms against each other, so let's dive right in. Here are the Dragon Ball 10 Strongest Saiyan Transformations Ranked. This is the first Saiyan transformation seen in the series. In the original Dragon Ball, whenever Goku was exposed to a full moon, he became a giant ape rage monster. At first, it just seemed as though Goku was some sort of werewolf. Would that be were-ape? In Dragon Ball Z, we found out that Goku is in fact a Saiyan, and all of them turned into this monster during the full moon. More was expanded on the form in the second series. We saw that Gohan could also turn into a great ape. It's unclear quite how Gohan's great ape compared to Goku's. Both of them were pretty incredible in power, well, relative to that time period, resulting in the moon getting destroyed a few times. Vegeta was the first Saiyan that we saw control his great ape form. Not only was he able to keep his senses, but he was also able to create a makeshift moon to simulate the Earth's missing one. After that, the form was more or less forgotten. Other characters like Trunks and Goten don't have to deal with the pesky things like tails and were-aping. Kids never appreciate how hard their parents had it. For simplicity's sake, let's go ahead and combine all the Super Saiyan Gold forms into one. I know, that may seem like heresy, but there's a whole video's worth of gold forms alone. The first Super Saiyan form appeared when Goku unlocked it in his legendary battle against Frieza. At that time, the Super Saiyan form was considered to be the most legendary form in the universe. Frieza destroyed the entirety of planet Vegeta just to prevent anyone from achieving it. If only he knew about the dozens of other forms that would come after it. Maybe he would have been a bit more thorough in his genocidal machinations. It's hard to properly chart the forms in between Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 2. After Vegeta and Trunks both unlocked the form and got on Goku's level, the race was on to find the next level. There's a second grade to Super Saiyan power that increases the muscle mass and speed. Then Vegeta and Trunks found a third grade with an even beefier form. Of course, Goku and Gohan topped this one with a Super Saiyan full power form. This one looked just like the regular form, but they were able to hold it for a much longer time. This resulted in a huge power increase. The next proper form came when Gohan unlocked Super Saiyan 2 in his fight against Perfect Cell. This form came with a big hair length increase and a massive power surge. This new form allowed him to destroy Cell in what was undoubtedly his coolest moment. Goku showed off Super Saiyan 3 several years later. When he fought against the original form Majin Buu, he revealed he'd been holding this power form back. This one came with even more hair that went all the way down to his back and an even bigger surge of power. This is probably the most underutilized of all the Super Saiyan forms. I guess that golden mullet look is more of a seasonal style than an everyday one. The Majin Buu arc featured a ton of incredibly complicated form changes and combinations. It featured the first appearances of Super Saiyan 3, Gotenks, and Vegito as the fighters tried to take on the legendary monster. One of the most impressive and underloved forms in this arc came when Gohan unlocked his full potential. The Supreme Kai awakened all of the dormant power within Gohan. This is basically Gohan fully utilizing his Saiyan base form, and it's surprisingly powerful. This, combined with the Z-Sword, seemed like it would be another arc-ending win for Gohan. He did end up getting defeated, but the form was still pretty awesome. It came back briefly in Dragon Ball Super, but like Gohan himself, it will likely never get the attention it deserves again. Dragon Ball GT is basically like the Star Wars extended universe of the Dragon Ball franchise. It was really strange and complex, it's been decanonized, though people still love both. One of the main reasons people still talk about GT is the fact that the series reconciled the two different Saiyan forms. The Great Ape and Super Saiyan transformations seem to have nothing to do with each other. This is kind of strange considering they are both genetic powers that can be achieved only by Saiyans. GT managed to combine these concepts in two pretty awesome ways. The first way was the golden great ape form. When Baby, basically an alien Ultron, took over Vegeta, he managed to find a new Saiyan transformation. He was able to turn into a great ape and then go Super Saiyan in that form. It resulted in a massive golden ape with incredible power. We probably won't be seeing this form in Dragon Ball Super, which is a real shame. The fight with Baby is one of the best fights in GT. Not that that's saying much. Once we saw Baby Vegeta assume a new Saiyan form, we just knew that Goku had to have another one on the way. Super Saiyan 4 is also a form that combines both the previously introduced transformations. It featured Goku getting covered in red ape hair up to his torso, though he managed to contain his inner great ape. He also grew back his tail. Goku was only able to attain this form by conquering the golden great ape within. He wasn't the only one who was able to achieve the form, though. Later on in the series, Vegeta achieves this form with the help of Bulma. He fights alongside Super Saiyan 4 Goku against Omega Shenron. They then combine into Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, who seems to use an even more powerful version of the form. Like the Golden Great Ape, SS4 will probably never be seen in the canon series. Not that anyone really needs it. Goku and Vegeta both surpassed this form with an even more powerful Super Saiyan transformation. After Dragon Ball Z, it was hard to think of a way any enemy could possibly challenge Goku again. Luckily for us, that's where Beerus came in. Dragon Ball Super introduced the concept of the Gods of Destruction and the Dragon Ball Multiverse. This gave Goku even greater heights to aim for. Even now, it's unclear if he will ever be able to top the likes of Beerus or Zeno. He gave his first real shot when he took the powers of several other Saiyans to become a Super Saiyan God. He also slimmed down, which is very different from the last several transformations. He was able to briefly spar with Beerus, which is a pretty impressive feat, even if the god wasn't giving it 100%. Luckily for our heroes, the only thing that was more powerful than Super Saiyan God was Beerus' sweet tooth. Would you destroy the world that introduced you to ice cream? Yeah, me neither. After we saw Goku's Super Saiyan God form, we all knew that there would be another form on the way. When that form came, it did not disappoint. Super Saiyan Blue is basically what happens when a Saiyan goes Super Saiyan using Super Saiyan God Ki. That sentence really only makes sense if you're a Dragon Ball fan. It comes with an insane power upgrade that dwarfs every other form that's come before it. Super Saiyan Blue has replaced Super Saiyan Gold as the new gold standard, the blue standard, for the franchise. This is the form that every enemy is now compared against. Whether it's Golden Frieza, Goku Black, or the quiet powerhouse Jiren, all of them have to take on Blue. Only then can they be properly ranked as Dragon Ball Super villains. One of the biggest surprises in Dragon Ball Super was when Future Trunks returned after years of his character being dormant. Even more than that, his big enemy now was an evil Goku. Later on in the arc, we found out that Goku Black was actually the evil Zamasu using Goku's body. In much the same way that Baby found a new form when he was using Vegeta's body, Zamasu did the same in Goku's. Zamasu went Super Saiyan Blue in Goku's body using his own god energy. Since Zamasu was born a god and not just using God Ki, his godly Super Saiyan form was much more powerful. Super Saiyan Rose looks a lot more like the original Super Saiyan God form. It gave black-pink hair and a pink aura. This form ended up becoming one of the most powerful we've seen so far. It's doubtful we'll ever see this one again, though. That is, unless Goku gets possessed by another god. Now that Jinyu and Zamasu have both taken over his body, that possibility isn't much of a stretch. Jiren is one of the most formidable opponents in the entire franchise. He may not have been the most interesting villain the series has ever introduced, but he seems nigh unbeatable. His power was so great that even the Super Saiyan Blue form couldn't put up a fight against him. This, like any great fight in the franchise, pushed Goku into growing into his most powerful form yet. The Ultra Instinct is kind of a unique form. It separates the mind from the body. That means that the time it takes to think about making a move before making it no longer exists. Goku was able to move faster and fight harder than ever before. This form was the only way he managed to take down Jiren and complete the Tournament of Power arc. To date, it remains the most powerful form that Goku has achieved. It's only a matter of time before something like Super Saiyan Ultra Instinct exists. If that happens, I called it first. I want credit. The Tournament of Power arc during Dragon Ball Super was full of surprises. Perhaps no surprise was bigger than when we were introduced to two small female Saiyans named Kale and Caulifla. Anytime we get to see a new Saiyan means that we'll probably get to see a new Saiyan form. We got exactly what we were waiting for when Kale showed off her awesome new form. Kale's Super Saiyan form had green hair, clear eyes, and an incredibly bulky frame. Fans immediately recognized this form. It looked just like Broly's from the non-canon Dragon Ball movies featuring the character. This would make her Universe 6's Legendary Super Saiyan. At first, this seemed like a cool Easter egg referencing the villain. Turns out, it was just a foreshadowing of his canonical appearance. The Dragon Ball movies are a mixed bag. Some characters, like Garlic Jr. and Cooler, have become fan favorites. Others, like Bojack, no, not the Horseman, and Lord Slug, are best left forgotten. The original Legendary Super Saiyan Broly is in a league of his own. His battles with Goku were considered some of the best in the franchise. In fact, he's so popular that he got canonized in Dragon Ball Super Broly. In that film, the Saiyans scanned baby Broly and saw that his potential power level was much higher than that of Prince Vegeta's. This situation got him sent off-world. Luckily, though, that meant he missed the planet's destruction. When he meets up with Vegeta and Goku years later, it becomes clear very quickly that he's much more naturally powerful. He's the Legendary Super Saiyan. These types of Super Saiyans come every 1,000 years and have supposedly endless amounts of energy. It also sends the user into a berserker state that usually leaves a path of unbelievable destruction. Goku and Vegeta had to combine into Gogeta Blue just to challenge Broly in this state. That's pretty incredible. Broly is still out there and will probably return in the next few years. After how successful and beloved the latest Dragon Ball Super movie was, it seems inevitable. It remains to be seen if Broly will achieve a higher form than Legendary Super Saiyan. Is Legendary Super Saiyan God a thing? Because that might be on frickin' Beerus' level. Let's see you try that one, Cooler. Oh wait, you can't. You still aren't canon. Well, there you have it, the best Saiyan transformations to date. Which is your favorite? Do you think Ultra Instinct outmatches even the Legendary Super Saiyan? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more from The Binger.